Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to new distributor training for Zija International. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija, and it is my privilege to be the trainer this morning. Welcome to my home office. Glad you could all drop by the house. Technology is a wonderful thing. Very excited this morning. We're going to be going through some things specifically oriented towards brand new distributors, and then certainly touching base on a few things we'll be talking about here a bit later. This is the first Saturday of our period in Zija International. We work on 4-week periods rather than a calendar month. And so this is the first Saturday of the period, and as is our custom, we do our Saturday morning training for new distributors, as well as at the top of the hour, 1 hour from now, we will be hosting a short team-wide organizational meeting. And we picked the first Saturday of the month to do that because earlier this morning we had the Diamond Club call. Now the Diamond Club is probably I'm guessing about 40 of the top distributors in the company. We get to communicate on a regular basis with the corporate team, and gives us kind of a heads up of where the company's heading. I'm going to have a lot of announcements for you, and so we're going to do our Saturday morning training for our new distributors. And then for those of you that are, maybe you're brand new to us, maybe you just got started this week, you're part of the Zija team. And so you are invited to join us again. You can simply just keep this window open. I will be taking a little bit of a break just to kind of check in, see what's happening on the other side of that door right there. That's where Mom is. And then we'll come back right at the top of the hour for our team-wide organizational meeting. And that will be at 11 o'clock in the morning Pacific and 2 o'clock in the afternoon East Coast time. So let's go ahead. We'll start with our new distributor training. And this is kind of a little bit of a misnomer. We don't do new distributor training, what I call new distributor training, learning, what it is we do, how we do it, the system, how to create a story, and so on. We don't do that every Saturday morning, but rather what we've done is we've prepared a few short videos to give you that foundation. Every brand new distributor, probably no different than myself, when I first started in this industry, and now we're going back 33 years, I think. I was a cross-country truck driver. I'd been doing that for a number of years, and was looking for a way to create a substantially above average income to meet the needs of my young family. As my older son was hitting school age, there were some needs for specialized educational resources, and the school district wasn't going to offer that. And so I found myself as a much younger man, 33 years ago, in the need of creating a significant income, but I also had a different need, which wasn't, compatible with working harder and making more money, was I needed to have time freedom to be with my son. And this industry, this profession in network marketing fulfilled on all of those promises. I was very fortunate in that very first company back in the mid-'80s to be able to learn from some of the most successful people in network marketing. I'm not talking just about a particular company. I'm talking about the industry. And I had an opportunity to get some excellent foundation, and then following the lead of the professionals, was able to build a business within this profession in network marketing that allowed me to literally retire in 10 years. I was able to compress what would have taken a couple of lifetimes of truck driving into just 10 years. What I would have earned in a couple lifetimes as a truck driver, I was able to do that in 10 years. And the magic of that was, number one, I was able to get all the work of 80 or 90 years of driving trucks to get it done in 10 years. But more importantly, in the process of doing that, I learned an awful lot about money. And one of the things that I learned about money, and you may want to write this in your notes, is don't spend all the money. It's something I've been trying to teach all the young folks. You know, every person, I mean, the average worker in America will make over $1 million in their lifetime. And so why is it that the vast majority of people hit retirement age and have to live a life that they, you know, dreamed or they hoped they never would have to? And part of that is, you know, if you figure out how much money the average person, if you're above average, if you've got a, you know, a profession, you know, professional career, you can make $2 million. Why is it that people retire and have to cut back? It's because they don't understand money. First thing, you got to work hard if you're going to create an income. Number two, if you're going to make that much money, figure out how not to give half of it to the government. And let me tell you, the simplest way to do that is to have your own business. The people that pay the greatest amount of taxes work for a living. Okay, and I, you know, honestly, the conversation that I hear going on today about, you know, rich people and poor people and inequality and that sort of thing, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, the fact of the matter is that if you want to play the game, in this case, the game of life, you better learn the rules. You're not going to win if you don't know the rules, and be real clear on this. The rules apply to everybody. In the Western world, or in particular in the US, you have to understand that owning your own business is, number one, the greatest way to create income, and number two, the greatest way to have tax advantages. Okay, and so these were things that were taught to me 30 plus years ago. It's what allowed me to make a lot of money in a short period of time, to keep as much money as I could of what I had, and then I didn't spend every dollar. It allowed me to retire 20 plus years earlier than the average person. Now, one of the advantages I had was my first week in my first network marketing company, I was exposed to what we called Saturday morning new distributor training. And it was in a relatively short period of time, I was taught what it is we do in network marketing and how we do it. And I believe that every new distributor who wants to create success in their Zija business has those same two things in mind. What is it that we do in Zija, and how do we do it? And so what I want you to do, you know, write this in your notes. I hope you got your journal handy. You got my journal. I carry this with me everywhere I go. Well, I don't carry it with me to the beach because I don't do business on the beach, okay? If I could get a waterproof one, I might. But you know, grab your journal, your notepad, whatever it is you're using to take your notes, and write this in your notes. You have access to the information that I was given 30 plus years ago that has allowed me to create a life that people frankly only dream about, to be able to have time freedom, the luxury of being able to spend time and do the things that are the most important to me, care for my family, take care of my friends, to provide you know, financial security to the next generation, to my children, to my grandchildren. Don't have any great-grandchildren yet, and I'm not in a big hurry for great-grandchildren yet. Grandbabies that are listening, don't be in a big hurry to make me a great-grandfather, okay? Make sure you take the time. We don't need great-grandbabies any sooner than we need them, right? But the information is available to you. You just have to seek it out. Now, I created a 30-minute video that is, if you will, the paraphrased version of what I learned my first weekend in network marketing, geared specifically to the Zija opportunity. You can access that video by going to my YouTube channel. That YouTube channel is YouTube. In fact, I'm just going to do it right now. Let's see here if I can do this. www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. All right, I just put it into the little chat box. You can click the link. And I'm going to click the link just to make sure it works. There we go. There it is. Now, when you get to that YouTube channel, you're going to find a tab that says playlists. And I'm going to give that to you right now as well, since I just went there. Playlists. That is the link to the playlist. When you get to that playlist, you will see 4 videos. The first one is new distributor training. Now, I encourage you to sit down and watch that. Take 30 minutes. Now, once you've watched it, I'm going to encourage you to go back and listen to it again. Not because I think I'm the greatest trainer or speaker in the world, but I have been taught by the most successful people within this profession. And that's the information I'm imparting to you. There's plenty of people that that'll do a much better job than me. However, the information is what's most important. And so watch that first 30-minute video. Now, for those of you that want to create you know, extraordinary levels of income, if you want to go beyond the masses, then there are 3 additional little videos. They're about 10 minutes a piece, so another 30 minutes of your time. And those 3 little videos would comprise what we would call the fast start training. Specifically, how to create a prospect list, people that you can share the product and share the opportunity with. How to develop your Zija story. And a 90-day game plan, how to launch your business, get into profitability, and create momentum in your Zija business in your first 90 days. Now, I encourage you to go through those because, you know, frankly, there isn't a lot to this kind of business. You know, it's not that complicated. It's very interesting. I had a conversation with one of our new distributors here. It might have been yesterday, actually. If you simply show up, you set yourself apart from 80% of the people. See, 80% of the people won't even show up to have this incredible opportunity. It just doesn't take that much to rise above the masses. If you take the opportunity to invest a few minutes of your time in learning the foundation of what we do, that will be incredibly powerful for you. Now, what we use Saturday mornings for, the presumption is you've already engaged in those first little videos to kind of get the foundation. I'm just looking here. I'm going to have to shut off this chat thing for just a minute because you can keep putting your stuff in there. I'll look at it in a moment when we go to question and answers, but I keep looking at it and it's distracting to me. Now, you can utilize this information, get the foundation, and then every Saturday morning, myself and several other members of the team will be sharing specifics. We'll delve into a you know, a more specific topic, get a little more clarity to something. Today, what I want to do is I want to talk about the activities that you will want to engage in right now, today, starting today, because as of today, we are 20 days away from the most significant event that will have occurred in the history of this company over the last, you know, 12 plus years. One of the things that was a big advantage to me when I joined Zija International, it's not what most people think. It's not because, you know, I was already a professional network marketer and I had a huge organization and I just brought 10,000 people with me from the last company to this company. That was not what happened. I had retired after 10 years in the industry. I got to enjoy the fruits of that labor. I got to do things that most people, you know, really, they can only dream about. I spent a number of years where I didn't have to work. If I did work, it was something that, you know, I selected to do. I was offered an opportunity, something that was, you know, exciting to me, something I could be passionate about doing. They had to pay me a lot of money to do it. And I'd typically work for maybe about a year at a time. Do a project, then I'd take a year or two off, and then something else would come along and I'd do another project. During that period of time, I ended up putting everything aside so I could raise my first grandson. My younger boy had my first grandbaby. He was a extremely young father. Within a year, he was an extremely young single father. I used to, and it really wasn't that much of a joke, but I would, jokingly say neither my son nor grandson can be out after dark without an adult. That was actually more truth to that than a joke. And I got to do something people just dream about. I got to be a stay-at-home grandpa and raise my grandson. And about the time the boys were ready to be on their own, it was time to come home and take care of my mom. Mom is 92 years old now. And it's been a real joy and a blessing to be able to keep her in her own home, keep her happy. She's surrounded by people that care about her and love her. And so these are the things I'm trying to impress upon you, that whatever it is that you choose to create as your future life is possible. And the opportunity, the money part, that's simply the tool. Okay, I could not do what I do today if I didn't have the financial resources. I'd be like every guy my age. I'd be working hard, wondering, am I ever going to be able to retire? Still got, college educations to pay for kids or grandbabies and mortgages. And, I don't have enough money saved. And, that's would be my life. I'd probably still be driving a truck if it wasn't for this profession of network marketing. Now, we have an extremely important event about to happen. Our international annual convention with Zija International is going to be in Orlando, Florida, October 4, 5, and 6. So starting 20 days from now. As a brand new distributor, there are a few things I am going to suggest to you, and I hope you take these to heart, because I have a very unique perspective on what's happening in Zija. It's a frame of reference that very few people have. And I'm not saying I'm special. I'm saying it's the history, my history. I had the chance to work with one company, my very first company. I spent 2 years there, learned an awful lot about higher levels of performance in our profession. But the timing was not right with that company. There were a number of reasons for it. It's beyond the scope of today's conversation. I went to a second company that I was able to get in before the major wave, before the masses. And because I knew what to do, I built an organization in 36 months with that company that allowed me to rise in the following 5 years to extraordinary levels of income, because I'd put into place an organization, a distribution team that allowed me to rise as the tide was rising with that company. And we literally took that company from, a $10 or $12 million a year company to a $500 million a year within 6 years. Okay. And frankly, if that was the right company to be with, I'd still be there. After, 8 years or so, timing and challenges that company had caused me to step back and step away from it. Now, because of the experiences I've had in network marketing, I get to see the development of companies from a different level than the average person. Most people are attracted to a network marketing company because of a product. And that makes sense. A friend shares a product with you, you use the product, you like the product. Why wouldn't you want to share it with other people and make some money? And hey, some of your friends will want to use that product. They could be your customers. Some of them are going to be like you and want to make some money. I mean, that's the concept of network marketing. When I was introduced to Zija, I looked at it in an entirely different perspective. I looked at it as a business, and I understand that the foundational element of success in a company is not the product. Now, I know that flies in the face of what most people think. The reality is that over, better than 3 decades in this profession, I've seen some companies that have had really good products. On occasion, a few companies that have had, truly extraordinary products, and they're not around anymore. See, it takes more than a good product to sustain a true long-term income opportunity. And when I was introduced to Zija, it was one of, several hundred companies that had approached me over a period of many years to bring me back into the industry. I passed on all of those companies because they did not meet one or more of the criteria that I had established would be the decision points on whether or not to get back involved in a company. And the first and foremost ingredient was the corporate leadership, the people that own and ran the company. And when I was introduced to Zija and I heard that it was a Ken Brailsford company, frankly, that's all I needed to know to make that decision to get involved. Now, the products are clearly a foundational element of success. The products that we have with Zija meet all of the criteria that I had established for making that decision on whether or not to join the company. Our products are first to market, cutting edge, science-based. These are the kinds of things that drive interest. When you have a diversified product offering that can appeal to a wide range of people, both people that people in your community, nationally, internationally, people from different walks of life. When you have a universal need products, that allows you to attract the largest number of people in terms of customers or distributors. That was the first criteria. Products that were unique in the marketplace, cutting edge, science-based. The second thing I looked for in products was they had to be highly consumable. Ideally, products that are consumed on a daily basis, products that are reordered on a monthly basis. This is essential for an income opportunity because you need to have products that are going to continue to move through the organization, which continues to create revenue, create income. But the third criteria was the most important. That is, the products had to really work. They had to make a meaningful difference in people's lives, because if they didn't, then it was an income-driven opportunity, not a product-driven opportunity. And for those of you that maybe have been around the industry a little while, you understand the difference that I'm making here. Opportunity-driven opportunities, income-driven opportunities tend to be relatively short-lived because you cannot build a real business unless you are moving product into the marketplace. If consumption of the product is only based upon a potential to create income, eventually people are going to stop using the products. Now, these are the kinds of things that I understood about this industry over a decade of being in the industry and doing extremely well during those 10 years. With Zija International, our products meet all three of those criteria. If you look, I had the opportunity to be with, I think there was about 12 of us that flew into Salt Lake City here last week to meet with the corporate team to put the final, the finishing touches on all of the new implementations in a wide range of areas that will be launching in, at the convention in October, Zija 2.0. And that particular opportunity to be with the corporate team made it very, very clear that what we have in Zija International is today the foundation that will launch this company into its, history-making growth. The statistics we got from the company were overwhelming. 82% of the people in Zija are customers. Okay, now some of them are wholesale members, some of them signed up as a distributor, but 82% of the people in Zija simply consume our products. That is phenomenal in network marketing business. No other company that I have ever heard of, and probably will ever hear of, has that level of consumerism. That's a real business. When I think just recently I saw an article that the Amway Corporation and the Amway Corporation, they're like a $10 billion a year company. They are the largest network marketing company in the world. They've been in business for 5 decades. maybe 6 decades, probably 6 decades, okay? Less than 20% of their people are just consumers. The rest are distributors. I want you to think about that for a minute. That's the complete opposite of what you want to base a true long-term income opportunity in. And Zija International has got, you know, I hate to use an old phrase, we got the beef. We've got the statistics, we've got the track record, we've got what it takes to be the next billion-dollar-a-year company. Now, with all that being said, here's what I want to share with you, and this is particularly to the new distributors. If you ever dreamed about an opportunity where you could be at the beginning of something, you know, significant, something massive, something that would change the world as we understand it, you know, in terms of how one creates income, how one creates residual income, how one creates leverage in their life. The first 10 years that I've been with this company, it's been in business now 20 or 12 years. I started at it when they were about 2 years old. This was the time that was required to put into place the foundation necessary to launch Zija International into the record books. October the 4th, 4, 5, and 6 will go down as history as the beginning of Zija International. So if you've wondered, you know, am I getting in too late? No, the rest of us got in too early. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, myself and a lot of other people, and I'm looking here through, I'm seeing people like, you know, Doug Stroop, Amy McKenzie, I saw Reed Nelson, Pat Anderson. I mean, people that are the who's who of Zija International who have created, you know, incredible levels of income. Every single one of us will tell you it was a lot of hard work during this formulation stage. But for those of you that are brand new today, you have the ability to have that leverage of walking into the beginning of the growth curve of Zija, where all the work and the trials and tribulations and you know, setbacks and that sort of thing have already been done. And you get to have the leverage of being able to walk in as we are now prepared for the major growth curve. So here's the question. What does a brand new person do to take advantage of what's about to happen? Get that foundational learning, okay? Listen to those 4 little videos. Follow the game plan specifically by the numbers. That was one of my big advantages when I started in this profession. I didn't prejudge what needed to be done. I simply relied and had the faith that the people that were successful would tell me what to do, and it was real simple. I just did it by the numbers. I followed every single little thing by the numbers. Didn't ask why. I just did it because it was obvious based upon the success that the people at the top had had. They knew what to do. What was also obvious is I didn't know what to do. And so be that person that is incredibly coachable. Follow the instructions by the numbers. Number 2, do whatever you have to do to be at the convention. Okay, real simple. Whatever you have to do to be at that convention. The power, it's not tangible, okay? It is very intangible, but it is those intangible things that separate those that make some money from those that make millions. 33 years ago, I had just joined my first network marketing company. I'd spent a lot of money to get product. I was working very hard. Didn't have a lot of money. I was driving trucks and taking, you know, most of my income and trying to put it into the educational resources for my son. And my sponsor told me that the big company convention was coming up in Chicago. I got to be there. And I said, "What, Jeff? I can't be there. I can't take time off of work. I don't have the money to get there." And he just looked me in the eye. He says, "Fred, if you're serious about being successful, you'll be there. That's it." And he turned around and walked away. It was kind of like, like that. And I didn't know what to do other than I did have those three characteristics of success. I was willing to work, I was willing to learn, be coachable, and I had a burning desire to succeed. And I had faith in my upline sponsor that because he had been successful, he knew what to do. I also realized that there was no value to him in giving me wrong information, that the only value that would come from his association with me is if he taught me everything he knew. And I took that literally. I took the last credit card I had that had 300 bucks on it. I bought a red eye ticket to Chicago. My sponsor said, if you show up, I'll take care of you. Just be around me at dinner time and I'll make sure you get fed. And because I literally showed up with next to nothing in my pocket. And I actually slept on the floor of his hotel room because that's how bad it was. But I showed up at that convention because I bought his story. And I'm going to tell you that, the 72 hours that I was at that first company's convention is probably the only reason I'm still involved in network marketing today. Because I saw a vision, I was around people that were making it happen. It became so real to me that I stayed in the game long enough to create the success I was looking for. And be clear on this, that wasn't even the company I made the first round of big money in. And the time that I've been with Zija eclipses the income that I earned in that first 10 years in the previous two companies. And so, first thing, get firmly grounded in the information. Watch those videos, Brand New Distributor. Number two, now this only applies to those of you that have higher level goals. If you're looking to create a full-time income, if you're looking to create, the kind of income that creates financial security and then move beyond that into financial independence, and for some of you, what I call financial abundance. If that's your level of desire, do whatever you got to do to be at convention. This will go down in history as the most significant event in the history of Zija International because it's the beginning of Zija International. There are many ways to get there. I know there's one lady, one member of the team that is driving there from Chicago. So if you live somewhere between Chicago and Orlando, look at the map. You could have a ride. Just get in touch with me. I'll put you in touch with her. I don't know how big her car is, but she might be able to pick up a few of you on the way. There's a lot of people that have been able to secure low-cost housing that are willing to share. Okay, one of the most exciting things that you can do is to double up and triple up in a hotel room, be around like-minded people. This is the one thing I can guarantee you. No matter what it is you have to do to be at convention at the end of those 72 hours, no matter, lost work, you missed the game from the kid, you had to, pull, funds from your, reserve, emergency credit card, whatever it is you have to do. Here's the part that I guarantee you. At the end of those 72 hours, you will say, thank you for making this such a big deal. I am glad that I was there. That part I can absolutely guarantee you. Now, every brand new distributor can purchase their convention ticket for the original early bird pricing, $99. For those of you that didn't do that, and you're looking at the cost of the convention ticket right now, don't make the convention ticket, the cost of that, the stumbling block. All right, there are a number of us that have been given vouchers from the company. Some are $100, some are as little as $50. That you can purchase those vouchers and get the ticket, even though the current price I think is like 250 bucks or something. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that. But these are available. When they're gone, they're gone. but they're available now. You still have more than ample time to make arrangements to be at the convention. That's where all of the information and updates are going to be released. That will be the launch of Zija 2.0. And so the most important thing that a new distributor can do today, especially if today is your very first day, take 60 minutes and listen to those new distributor training videos. Number two, get to the convention. And then the final thing is, and this is more for those of you that have been around a little bit, you have 20 days to get as many people as you can to the convention. Okay, these are the things that all the top field leaders are focusing on. I'm seeing Kevin Steele, I see Kate Ridgely, Kate and Brian, I see Mary, I see Michael Spackman's with me. You know, these are the people, this is what they're doing, folks. Their number one focus for the next 20 days is, who can I bring to convention with me? And I'm going to give you one other illustration. I'm going to check and see if we got a couple of questions I might be able to answer. My very first Zija convention was in October of 2008. At that convention, I was fortunate enough to have 6 distributors join me at that convention. Of those 6 distributors, 5 of them have gone on to become diamonds, double diamonds, black diamonds, diamond elites. One of the 6 rose to the rank of gold. But that person rose to the rank of gold and brought me 4 more diamonds downline from her. Okay? Now, I'm not going to say every single person that you bring to convention is going to become a diamond in your organization. I'm simply saying that I was able to get 6 people to convention, and 5 of them became diamonds or higher. So, just saying, all right? So anyway, hopefully that's been helpful. Let me take a quick look here, see if I've got any questions. Let's see. And if you have a question that I might be able to help with right now, please jot it in the little chat box. Don't spend all the money. Overspending is invest in yourself. Thank you very much. I can't tell actually who that came from. Oh, here we go. That's a little bit easier to see. Watch, listen, learn, found innovation. I'm reading fast here. I had somebody say, "You're definitely special, Fred." I have to tell you, it's not the first time I've heard that, but it was never in the context that you meant it, Danielle. I was referred to as a special child growing up. I remember having a meeting with my older boys, you know, all the people involved, right? You know, the teachers and the psychiatrists, psychologists, and the aides and all that kind of stuff. And before he came in, I didn't fit very well into that circle there in the public school arena. One of the ladies, the lady heading up the meeting, made the comment about my son being special. And I went off on her. I said, "Sweetie, don't call my son special. Don't use that term." She says, "Oh, no, you don't understand. I'm meaning by special." And I stopped again. I says, "It doesn't make any difference what you mean by special. When a child hears special, they don't hear good special. They hear different special. So don't call my son special." And it wasn't much longer after that before he was pulled out of the public school system, put into a private school. For obvious reasons. Now, let's see, if you like to bring me over and bounce conversations around, it'd be a good place taken care of. You know what, Candace? Let's do that. Candace, if you're ready, I'm going to bring you over to this side of the let's see here. Where are you, Candace? Somebody raised their hand. Robert Arnold, you raised your hand. Did you have a question? Please go ahead and ask it. The good kind of special. Thank you, sweetie. Candace, I'm going to bring you over here, Candace. Let's see if I can bring Candace over here. Hey, Candace. I'm going to unmute you. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Because you're all over North America these days. You were in Southern California, well, Central Coast here earlier.
Yep.
Got a chance to meet you and Laura Lee for lunch.
Yep.
At the Harbor. Appreciate you. Where are you right now?
I'm currently in Las Vegas. We're staying with a couple of phenomenal distributors. That's the power of this community and this team. So Laura Lee made a connection online. So we're here with Ed and Deb, and they're hosting this night in their beautiful home. So it's pretty exciting.
Oh, you got Ed and Deb there? Oh, well, good for you. Hey, they are on fire, man. Let me tell you, they are on fire. And very pleased to say they're part of my personal organization.
That's awesome.
Cool too, huh?
Yeah.
Not that I can take any credit for what they're doing. These guys are just phenomenal, right? But no, I'll go ahead and take a little credit. How's that?
A little bit of credit.
Candace, I appreciate you raising your hand and offering to jump on, because you have a very unique perspective of Zija. You've been around for a while. I think you've been in 7 years. So you've had a chance to be to several of our conventions. Yes. You're one of those people that we talk about in Zija. You know, your focus, was building a business when you started. And then when you had Inara, who's just the cutest little 3-year-old girl. I mean, she was so, and well, we won't talk about kids right now. But you were able to take time off and get a paycheck every single week because you in advance. And this is the key, folks. I keep trying to say, don't wait for the challenges in life. They're coming. I mean, they're coming. I guarantee you're going to have challenges in life. Money doesn't mean a darn thing except for the things it can do for you when those challenges come up. And I'm not calling Inara a challenge, but you had prepared a business. And when Inara came along, your number one focus was to be with her, and you've been able to build a business that created a residual income, a check every single week. Now that she's a little bit older and can travel with you and stuff, you're focusing and hitting it on Zija because of your tenure in the industry. You see what we're about to do. And I appreciate it. I would really like your perspective on the value of getting to convention.
Well, it's a game changer, to be completely honest. And, I'm working my butt off as an upline to make sure as many new people can go to convention as possible, right? It's like remove as many barriers as possible, get in their corner, because Fred, it's not just about going, and a lot of people say, oh, it's just hype. It's not. It's about catching the vision. And there's that verse that says, without vision, people perish. And I think that becomes really true in this industry, where it's really tough sometimes to have success. It can be a tough go. No's can be really discouraging. And when you get around other people that have the same vision, you can hear it from the corporate staff, you can hear it from other people, it changes the game, Fred. So I would say to anyone thinking about it on the fence, do what you have to do, pull out all the stops. I'm a mom. I got to figure out someone who can take care of my minion for those days that I'm down there so I can be present, because this is not something I'm going to miss. I spent all year waiting for it. Not only do you get the breakouts, not only do you get the the keynote speakers, which the company always chooses, just first-class speakers. It's that community, that connection, the hearing the story and going, oh my gosh, that's my story. And I think that's the biggest piece for me, Fred.
And something that just occurred to me as you were speaking, one of the greatest advantages to being at convention, especially for the new people, is getting a chance to spend time with the field leadership. I mean, how many of you would like to learn from a Candace Smiley how she built in just a few years a business that allowed her to take off close to 3 years to raise her daughter? How many of you'd like see? It's one thing to see Candace. Candace has done a number of our trainings and Thursday night biz talks. It's one thing to see Candace on the video, and I know many of you have because I get the feedback. Many of you have had have taken the opportunity to get great information and training from her. What a difference it will make to be able to be with her one-on-one, ask a specific question. Not that I'm I don't know if you want to spend time with me. I'm an old guy. I keep telling everybody.
I like spending time with you. We drive like 30 hours to just have lunch with you, Fred. But you've hit the nail on the head, I think. And I want to point that out. Like when I send my team and we go and they're amazing, so high five team. When they go, I say, go and get selfies with some of these key leaders. Go take pictures, because then you can take that excitement back with you. When someone says those things never work, you can say, well, I don't know about that, but what I do know is this is me standing with Dr. Joshua Plant. I don't know about that, but this is me standing with Fred Holmes. That makes all the difference in the world. And you and I know that, Fred. The posture changes the conversation. When you say to someone, hey, do you keep your options open when it comes to making money? Are you looking for a way to feel better? And there's this excitement. People go, yeah, what have you got? And you don't get that unless you get a chance to go.
You know, and you said something that's really critical to the brand new person. When you are prospecting, whether it be a potential customer or potential distributors and material,
Yeah.
you don't have a story yet.
No.
Okay, maybe you just started on the product. Maybe you're starting to feel some benefit. You've lost some weight. You got some more energy. How much more powerful would it be to say, well, this is me with, Laura Lee, who's lost 83 pounds already.
I know. Yeah.
Because see, your story is just your story now, but it becomes so much more real, and the potential becomes so much greater.
Yeah.
I got teachers watching. I'm looking here. Danielle as a teacher. I got to make sure I'm saying this right. How much greater it becomes to be able to say, well, I've lost 12 pounds. Here's Laura Lee. She's already lost over 80 pounds.
Yeah.
Here's David Albini. He's lost over 400 pounds. Your vision of the future becomes reality for your prospect. How about this one? Well, I just got started. I made, $118 last week, but I'm standing with Candace Smiley, who's made, a couple of $100,000. I'm standing with Fred Holmes. He just can't even count as high as the millions he made. I mean, it takes you as a brand new distributor and lends so much more credibility to what you're saying, because your prospect for the product can start using your product, not just because of your story, but because you have the results of others. Your prospect for the business can join you, and they know you've not made the big money. But by working with you as a brand new distributor, they get to work with these other people that have made the money, and will be working with them because you're part of that team. We're all part of the same Zija team.
Absolutely.
And maybe you can speak to this too, because you really have mastered this. Something a lot of people don't get. It's not just about your sponsor. There are many, many people above you, and I hate to use that hierarchy thing because that's not really the way it works. I kind of consider myself at the bottom and supporting a huge organization. But there are many people that are part of your upline lineage, and somewhere up there is a diamond or an emerald or a platinum that can teach you how to do this. You're not limited just to your sponsor. But the other thing is that when you get to the level like Candace is at as an emerald, we start sharing in company-wide pools. So, for example, Candace is not actually in my pay line. What Candace does and her team does, I don't get direct income from that. However, my emerald pool check reflects what Candace does. So call it enlightened self-awareness. It is actually to my benefit financially to support Candace's efforts and her team. I'm part of the profit participation pool, which is a percentage of company-wide volume. So it is to my advantage to support people that might not necessarily even be in my own pay line, but if it benefits the company, it also benefits me financially. And while I would do it anyway because I'm the nicest guy in the world,
you
the fact of the matter is there is a certain amount of what I call enlightened self-awareness. Now, Candace, you have reached out to a lot of people and have really benefited not only from giving them support from your experience, but also receiving support from them. Maybe you can speak a little bit to that.
Very, 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 very much so. And not just myself, but my team, right? Certainly, people like Laura Lee have done a lot of videos. I could start naming names. I don't want to miss anybody. But one of the things that I know was a huge impact for me was that reaching out to other leaders, asking for support, asking for ideas, meeting them, because it's that cross-line sharing that can make all the difference in the world. And you're right, because it's the facts to tell, but it's the stories. The stories are what sell. And so, you know, I'm borrowing a story like yours, Fred, right? As I'm up and coming and saying, this is what's possible, right? And you were a dad, so you get it, certainly from my story. And a lot of the people I tend to attract, you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. And that includes your life, your situation, because you are the sum of the people you spend the most time with. And so I think about that all the time, that if I want to go to the next level and I need to raise that awareness and vibration, I have got to get around people who have what I want. Now, whether that's online or getting to convention, that's how you get around people who can say that one thing that changes your mindset, or that one thing you take home and share with someone that changes their mindset, and then they get started. That's the big difference.
Well, and if you think about it, whatever the cost, you know, lost work hours, expense for travel, lodging, food, what have you, whatever that is, pick a number on what that would cost you, and then divide that by the next 36 months. Because in the next 36 months, there will be people that will eclipse what I accomplished in my first 36 months in Zija, and it is nothing. The cost that you will incur, if you were to factor that over the next 36 months, it's the tip that you give the waiter for taking good care of it, right?
It is.
Candace, we're gonna have to shut off. Appreciate you jumping in. You're
Thank you,
always
Fred.
such a joy to work with, and looking forward to seeing you at convention.
You too.
And let's see here. Oh, you're going to be taking Anara to that event with Pat Anderson, right?
You got it.
Okay, good. I'm going to be jumping in the bouncy castle with the kids. If you guys want to hang out with me, go find out where all the kids are jumping in the bouncy castle, because that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to send you back to the other side. Good to see you. Let's see here. Let's do this here, and there we go. Okay, so folks, we've gone through quite a bit of stuff. I thought I did that. I'm gonna give you one more chance here. Oh, there we go. Well, I can't actually get you off the screen, but that's okay, because we're gonna close it up here, folks. We've gone through a lot of stuff right now. If I didn't get your question, I apologize. We do need to take a little break here, and in 5 minutes, I'm looking at my clock right now. In 5 minutes, I'm going to come right back. We're going to do our first Saturday of the period team meeting. I got a lot of announcements from the Diamond Club call. You can just stay logged in if you want. I'm not going to shut this off. If you need to take a little break, you come right back in. Same meeting ID number. Thank you, Candace, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, see you soon. Bye-bye.